Today we're talking about why your home isn't selling. And if you're watching this video because your home is listed and isn't selling, I know that that can be frustrating and stressful. But I want to ensure you that you're not alone, and this is a common experience because of the complexity of homes, because pricing can be challenging, and there are many elements out of the control of the seller and their agent. Supply and demand plays a substantial role. The four main scenarios of supply and demand are as follows. Scenario 1 is low inventory and high demand, which fosters higher prices. Scenario 2 is high inventory and low demand, which results in lower prices. Scenario 3 is low inventory and low demand, resulting in an environment where it can take more time, but sellers can sometimes preserve their market pricing and maybe in some cases get higher prices with some time and patience. And then scenario 4 is where we have high inventory with high demand, which should result in a relatively balanced market where the best houses can get top dollar, while other less desirable homes have to be more competitive with pricing to sell. In any case, without a buyer, you're out of luck, and a lot of competition can hurt. And all that said, supply and demand are not the only considerations of why your home isn't selling. Some other reasons include the specific features and attributes of your home, such as the age, floor plan, location, condition, lot configuration, and finishes can play a role. Other items that can have a negative impact are being on a busy street, having an undesirable floor plan, or a home needing repairs and updates. And unlike a commodity such as gasoline, housing demand is impacted significantly by price. So one consideration is whether your home is price elastic or inelastic. Generally speaking, lower price points are more elastic. So a price change from $525,000 to $500,000 will improve sales more than a price change from $1,050,000 to $1 million, even though the percentage change is the same. Price elasticity is when a slight price change creates a major change in demand for a product. Modest increases or decreases in price for high quality luxury homes in short supply will have little impact on demand for that home, which is price inelastic. On the flip side, a lower quality, oversized luxury home may not be as desirable due to necessary updating or maybe outdated finishes. So lowering the price can have a significant impact on demand, which is more price elastic. So consider asking yourself or your realtor whether your home is inelastic and therefore you should be patiently waiting for the right buyer to come around, or whether a price adjustment is warranted because it's more elastic. In my experience, whatever the price point, homes with excellent floor plans, location, and updated finishes and quality materials tend to command a premium, while homes needing updates or on a busy street or with poor quality or an inefficient layout may require a discount to sell. I also want to point out that the availability of the home to show has a big impact on the sale. For example, when a listing has an uncooperative tenant who makes it hard to show, or when there are dogs or other pets at the home that need to be removed before a showing, but the seller has a hard time getting to the house from work. This can also be a seller who works from home who can't be interrupted, or who homeschools their kids, or maybe a single parent who's juggling kids' schedules and work. This can also be a seller, and I see this quite often, where preparing a home for a showing is just simply a significant burden for various reasons. But whatever the case, the only way to sell a home is to show it. For those who prefer less and more serious showings, and this tends to be the most applicable in my experience to luxury listings shown in person, your agent can vet the buyers to be sure that they're pre-qualified and have viewed the listing in detail online. They can try to schedule showings back to back when possible, and they can try to time block showing time frames that work for the seller's schedule. But in the end, buyers can't reasonably evaluate their interest without seeing the home in person. Buyer schedules can be limited for similar reasons, including travel schedules, because many of them fly in to see houses over a weekend, for example, or they might have a job, such as being a doctor or a judge, that doesn't allow them flexibility with their schedule. And despite best efforts by your agent to vet each buyer, and despite all the effort the seller puts into preparing the house to show, some buyers are going to visit the house and have no interest. Some may stay for just a few minutes and then leave. That's the reality on just about every sale, and it's simply unavoidable. That said, the mindset we like to have with showings is that every showing is one step closer to a sale. And for every buyer not interested, we are one showing closer to an offer. Showings, and selling a home in general, is inconvenient and can be difficult with prep work and scheduling. However, there is potential with each and every buyer, and we view each showing as beneficial, an important step within the home sale process, and something to be celebrated. Showings are easy to take for granted, so it's important to view them with a positive outlook while still having realistic expectations. I've personally shown thousands of homes, and some sell fast and others take months. Some use a lockbox and an online showing service, and others are shown in person by appointment only. Either way, we have found success in selling homes when demand meets supply between a motivated buyer and seller. I also want to point out that we don't get too caught up in feedback from any particular buyer, but we do listen to detailed feedback. Agents seek feedback after showings to get an idea of interest and comments. Not all buyers or their agents will provide feedback, but many do, and we do our best to get feedback, of course. This can be helpful in making adjustments to the listing if necessary, whether it has to do with how the home is staged or the home improvements, the price, the marketing, or other important aspects of the sale. While we do seek this feedback and market diligently by highlighting the features of a home and following up, offers rarely require aggressive marketing tactics. An interested buyer and motivated seller, where demand meets supply, is where the magic happens, and an offer can arrive in the inbox. So to conclude regarding showings, we get excited when we have a showing, but we have no expectations of any particular buyer. That can create an environment of stress and unnecessary expectations. Sometimes pushing a buyer or their agent can actually work against us. Psychologically speaking, a more consistent, limited pressure approach, just under a hard-to-get approach, can trigger higher feelings of interest from the buyer. Sometimes playing hard to get or a high-pressure competitive situation can scare a buyer off. But regardless, when a buyer has serious interest, an offer will come naturally, and it often happens when you're not expecting it. I want to close with these thoughts. Each and every sale and each home is unique. The market is always changing. The condition, location, features, and aspects of each property is different. Every neighborhood and street is different. Whether your agent is selling your home or their own home, it is impossible to know the outcome of the sale without going through the sale process. The past, such as other home sales, is not always an indicator of the future. And the best way to understand the market for your home is to list it publicly for sale and see what happens. At Regent Property Group, we aren't just selling to get a check or make a buck. We are consultants, and our goal is to help our customers achieve their goals and become clients for life. And as with any business relationship, it's important to find a realtor who you can trust. And trust isn't something easily breached due to elements out of the control of the agent or the seller. Home sales are riddled with challenges. Some sales are smooth and easy and exceed expectations, and others are very difficult. Your agent is there to provide sincere, honest advice to work through the process, whatever the challenges or blessings that may occur. Selling a home is a team effort. So as you evaluate why your home isn't selling, we encourage you to communicate openly and often with your agent. Share any concerns or ideas that you may have. Ask a lot of questions. Seriously consider and evaluate any recommendations coming from your agent, and don't hesitate to take swift and decisive actions to make adjustments to achieve your goals if needed. And at other times, let's say during the first 6 months to a year of a major negative market shift, settle in and be patient. Pent-up demand will often come after buyers sit on the sidelines waiting for the market to bottom out.